We are killing our planet. Humanity's insistence on ignoring our effect on the world around us has created one of the most dangerous threats to ever face our world: climate change. Climate change is the single most pressing issue currently facing our nation. It threatens the lives of every man, woman, and child and jeopardizes the safety and security of generations to come. In order to better understand the threat of climate change, we must first understand what it is. Climate change is the term that is widely used to describe the shift in the global climate caused by an increased level of atmospheric carbon dioxide. This increase is predominantly attributed to human activity, mainly the burning of fossil fuels such as gasoline and coal. According to the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, atmospheric CO2 levels have increased from around 300 parts per million in the 1950s to just over 400 in 2019. These increased levels of carbon dioxide have caused an estimated 1.4 degrees Fahrenheit increase in global temperatures. Although seemingly insignificant, this increase has had devastating consequences on our planet. We have witnessed an unprecedented rise in the occurrences of natural disasters, such as forest fires that are becoming harder to fight, hurricanes that are stronger and more frequent, and droughts that are more devastating.
Therefore, in order to fulfill my solemn duty to protect America and its citizens, the United States will withdraw from the Paris Climate Accord.
Despite the overwhelming data supporting the existence of human-caused climate change, there is still a significant faction in our government which denies or downplays its significance, including that of our current president. So, how do we know for certain that we are causing climate change?
Absolutely is real, and I think most of us can experience it and see it for ourselves. So I think that's even the better answer to that is, when you start to see it, feel it, it supports the data. But right now, all the evidence supports the fact that, we are causing, because we're putting so much carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, that we're causing our climate to change. All the normal factors that we would see, sunspots, orbital movements, meteors hitting the Earth, the things that happened in the geological past are not at play today. So you can take all of those out, and so the only culprit left is us.
The vast majority of the scientific community is in agreement that climate change is real and we have contributed significantly to it. Therefore, the question shifts from whether or not it is real to how bad is it and how can we stop it.
If we don't stop, that's really the million-dollar question, is how bad will it get? We know the temperature's already risen a degree. That is an undisputed fact. We're moving towards a very close. We're about at 1.5. We're getting close to 2. Scientists can see that. We know that's where it's going to go. If nothing changes, we're talking 3, 4, 5 degrees. You can't have 10 billion people and have that kind of heat. It's just not possible. So are people going to disappear? There's a lot of, people, everything's going to collapse and fall. We don't know. It's possible. There is that risk. Most likely scenario, and I think this is what you have to really go with, is we just can't support 10 billion people because everyone's going to have to move, restructure, and we don't have the funding for that. We don't have the finances. We're like trillions of dollars in debt. How are we going to move everyone out of Miami when it floods? How are we going to move all of our farms? Think about if you can't grow a certain crop in a certain area, but you have the tractors and the fertilizer and the land and everything set up for that. Now you have to move it. How expensive is that? It's just astronomically to move our infrastructure around. That's what's the big cost. And if we don't do something, that's what we're gonna have to pay for.
So, how can we attempt to address the issue of climate change? To start, we can vote. We can vote for those candidates that are willing and able to address the issue and to advocate for drastic change. We need candidates that will impose strong legislation that will create a more environmentally conscious society that is not dependent on fossil fuels. And we need them to do it soon.
The government should have started working on this a long time ago. And I think you can argue too that moving away from fossil fuels isn't just about climate change, it's about what's better for us in the future. Fossil fuels cause air pollution, they're dirty, they're messy, we spill oil. There's other problems associated with them besides just climate change. There's so many reasons for us to move away from that. It could be a sustainable future. We have free wind, free solar. Why would we not want to develop technologies moving forward? And I think that's how we have to look at it. It's not as, the fossil fuels are the past and alternatives to the future, and that's where we need to move. And I think politicians need to make regulations that are going to allow those industries to flourish. We've supported fossil fuels for a long time. Let's stop supporting them. Let them die out naturally, as many coal is. We keep adding more support for coal and it's still dying. So why not put those same supports into these alternatives in the future? And we can't just do one. We can't put all our eggs in one basket like we did with fossil fuels. We need to diversify our energy resources so that we have a variety of sources. So we have solar, we have some wind, we have some nuclear, we have a little bit of everything, and we start figuring that out. We also need to start funding fully and more generously, I think, organizations that are figuring out ways to take CO2 out of the atmosphere, coming up with alternatives. And, you know, if this is what we're doing to the atmosphere, we're going to have to take some CO2 out. We're going to have to figure out how to do that. So if we funded all of those things more than we do and took all the subsidies away from the past and put it towards the future, I think that would make a really big difference.
So, if we want to ensure the future well-being of our world, we must support those candidates and politicians that will fight to protect the natural world around us, or we are on the risk of destroying the very planet in which we live.